यहाँ पर अभी कितना बजा? 10:30 रात में। नमस्कार डॉक्टर साहब, कामाख्या जी।
सर नमस्ते।
नमस्ते सर।
कैसे हैं सर?
आप सबकी कृपा है। आप कैसे हैं?
जी अच्छा है सर, अच्छा है। आजकल यूएस में ही है ना?
हाँ, अब तो यूएस में ही है।
बड़ा अद्भुत संजोग है। वर्षों बाद इस बार हम लोग मिले।
हाँ हाँ, अद्भुत, बहुत दिनों बाद। अब तो यहाँ बस गए, बस यही सारा।
आपकी ईमेल आईडी सर कंफर्म करा दीजिए, मेरे पास होगा।
हाँ हाँ, है guruji220@gmail.com।
अच्छा सर, अच्छा। ठीक सर, मैं करूँगा संपर्क आपसे।
क्या बात है, पूरा मौन में ले आए सभी को। अभी आप बोल नहीं रहे हैं या आवाज़ नहीं आ रही?
अच्छा सर, 5 मिनट में स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं।
नहीं नहीं, ठीक है।
कैमरा कर देना है। कैमरा इधर कर। सर्वेभ्यो विद्यार्थिनो नमो नमः। ये केंद्रीय संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालयस्य योगचर्चासत्रे यस्मिन् स्थिताः वर्तन्ते। Welcome to all of you in this conference of Sarvasam University. We are fortunate to have many learned speakers from across the globe. It's our tradition to worship supreme consciousness before doing any work. So I would like to invite Dr. Anayam Tripathi for Vedic Vandanacharam. हरि ओम अग्निर्ज्योतिषो ज्योतिर्ज्योतिः सूर्यः स्वाहा अग्निर्वर्चो ज्योतिर्वर्चः स्वाहा सूर्यो वर्चो ज्योतिर्वर्चः स्वाहा ज्योतिः सूर्यः सूर्यो ज्योतिः स्वाहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसार परमा माद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीमभयदाम् नाट्यान्धकारापहाम् हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीम् पद्मासने संस्थिताम् वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम् भगवत्यै सरस्वत्यै नमः मन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि हरि ओम पावकानाः सरस्वती वाजे गर्भागिनी वहति जज्ञं पष्टो धिया वसुः चोदयित्री सूनृतानाञ्च हन्ति सुमतीनाम् जज्ञनन्दधे सरस्वती महो अर्णः सरस्वती प्राचे सायति केतुना धियो विश्वा विराजति इन्द्राय हि चितराभानो सुता इमे त्वायवः अन्वीभिस्ताना Professor Rakesh Giri, HOD of Yogic Science, Gurukul Kangri Haridwar will chair this session. And Dr. Kamakhya Kumar, HOD of Yogic Science, Uttarakhand University, Haridwar, is keynote speaker. And we have some prominent yoga experts and speakers. Respected Dr. Girish Jha sir, coach, mentor, guide, speaker, writer from USA. Mrs. Gadir, yoga teacher from Damascus, Syria. Dr. Asim Kulsresht, Dev Sanskrit Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar. Mrs. Dionisia Milendran, founder, director, and chief yoga instructor of Rhythmic Yoga Academy of Sri Lanka. Ms. Bahare Jahanara, yoga therapist and instructor from Tehran, Iran. Ms. Ranjana Satyapriya Markovic, yoga and happiness teacher and Spanish teacher from Croatia. Ms. Fulud Alami, yoga therapist, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Narendra Singh, assistant professor, Department of Yoga, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow. Welcome to all of you in this conference of Center Sanskrit University. We are very fortunate to have many learned speakers from different countries. Now I would like to invite Dr. Kamakhya Kumar. Oh, sorry. 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 Now I would like to invite Dr. T. Dayanath, the convener of Department of Veda, CSU Sri Ranveer campus, for welcome address and introduction to all dignitaries. Dr. T. Dayanath, sir.
नमस्ते विशुद्ध विज्ञान घनस्वरूपं विज्ञान विश्राणन बद्ध दीक्षं दयानिधिं देहभृतां शरण्यं देवं हयग्रीवमहं प्रपद्ये. The Yoga for Holistic Health, the International Conference on Yoga for Holistic Health, is being conducted for 2 days by Central Sanskrit University in collaboration with Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga. First of all, I would like to welcome our beloved and visionary Vice Chancellor, with whose support we are organizing this conference, Professor Srinivasa Varkhedi, and the keynote address to be delivered by Dr. Kamakhya Kumar. Uh, he has a very elaborated and a long academic profile and career. We are fortunate to have Dr. Kamakhya Kumar, the head of the Department of Yogic Science, Uttarakhand Sanskrit University, Haridwar, on behalf of CSU Sri Ranveer campus and this conference organizers. We welcome you, sir, in this international conference of yoga. And the prominent speaker, Dr. Girish Jha, coach, mentor, guide, and speaker. And I think if we list out the achievements and the profile of Dr. Girish Jha, I think we need to organize a separate conference to list out the things to the of Dr. Girish Jha. The what he says that we are not worthy of suffering but happiness. We meant to achieve that by yoga. Thank you, sir, for being here and accept as our invitation to guide us. We welcome on behalf of CSU Dr. Girish Jha. And now the special speech to be delivered by Ms. Gadhir, yoga teacher from Damascus, Syria. Mrs. Gadhir, I welcome you on behalf of CSU and the organizers on behalf of committee. Heartily welcome to you, madam. And address by prominent speaker, Dr. Asim Kulsreshtha, Dev Sanskriti University, Haridwar. We welcome you on the dais, and we are fortunate to have you and listen to your kind words. And prominent speaker, Ms. Janisha Mailendran, founder, director, and chief yoga instructor at Rhythmic Yoga Academy in Sri Lanka. I welcome you on behalf of CSU Sri Ranveer campus. And Ms. Bahara Jahanara, yoga therapist and fencing instructor, Tehran from Iran. I welcome Ms. Jahanara on behalf of CSU. A hearty welcome to you. And address by prominent speaker Satyapriya Mrazovic, yoga and hypnosis teacher and pranic healer from Croatia. We have shining stars of dais on front of us. Thank you, Ms. Satyapriya Mrazovic. I welcome you on this dais in this international conference. And address by prominent speaker Ms. Ilyami, yoga therapist from Saudi Arabia, and address by prominent speaker Dr. Narendra Singh, assistant professor, Department of Yoga, Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar, Central University from Lucknow. And we welcome you, sir. Addressed by the session chair, Professor Rakesh Giri, Head Department of Yogic Science, Gurukul Kangri Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar. I welcome the session chair, Professor Rakesh Giri ji, on behalf of CSU, and a presidential address, of course, by our visionary and our enthusiastic director, by whom kind guidance has propelled us to organize this wonderful conference, Professor Madan Mohan Jhaji. Sir, I welcome on behalf of organizers of the International Yoga Conference. I welcome Professor Madan Mohan Jha, and I welcome the coordinator of this international conference, Dr. Yogendra Dikshit ji, Assistant Professor, Political Science, CSU, Jammu, and Dr. Ravikant Tiwari ji, and convener of this session, Dr. Sarvesh Tripathi ji, and everyone who were on the dais sitting the CSU Sri Ranveer campus. I welcome everyone and all, and thank you and welcome once again. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Dr. Divyana sir, for your welcoming address. Now it's time to keynote address, and I would like to invite Dr. Kamakhya Kumar, Head Department of Yogic Science, Uttarakhand University, Haridwar. Sir, please, Dr. Kamakhya Kumar, sir. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. May I request everyone to chant the Gayatri Mantra first? Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, Professor Girish Jha sir, and the organizing committees, and dear delegates, today on behalf of Central Sanskrit University and in collaboration of Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga, we are conducting this conference. See, the topic of conference is yoga and holistic health, and this topic is quite relevant today, as the health is the requirement of each and everyone. So in this talk, it will be for 20 minutes, I would be introducing the yoga, what is health, concept of holistic health, and yoga for holistic health. So we all are from the same field, and everyone knows the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, that is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is nothing but the science of observing and controlling the mind Basically, psychology was invented in the search of psyche or the mind. Hence, yoga is one of the best way to control the mind. If you just try to define the yoga, yoga is the way of right living. Or, as per Bhagavad Gita, yoga is harmony. Shamatvam योग उच्यते योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा धनंजय सिद्ध सिद्ध समभूत्वा shamatvam योग उच्यते. So the balance in the life, balance in every action of the life, it comes under harmony. And the second definition given by Lord Krishna is yoga karmashu kausalam, perfection in action. So if you just combine both the things, samadhatvam yoga uच्यते and yoga karmashu kausalam, this is all over the right way of living. How to make a balance in the life and how to go through the action which comes without expectation. So, yoga is, in real sense, a continuous process of self-transformation. Transformation of body, transformation of mind, transformation of spirit, all together. We all are from the same field, as I said, and there are so many paths of yoga. There are so many ways to attain yoga, like Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raj Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Mantra Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and so on. But good health is one of the greatest resource for vitality, creativity, and wealth. While poor health is contrast significant, drains the affirmation. Hence, it is necessary for us to discuss the meaning, definition, components, and the factors which influence the health. If you just translate health in Hindi or Sanskrit, it is swast. And so, if you just divide the swast, swa, dhan, stha. Swa plus stha. Swa is self and stha is established. So one who is established in himself. So health is a general condition of body and mind. Health is a healthy state of well-being, free from diseases. As WHO also defines, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of any disease or infirmity. But the definition is new, and the old definition given by the Ayurveda, samdosa samagnisya samdhatu malakriya prasannatma indriyamana swasthya. So only that person is healthy whose dosas, dhatus, mala, and agni, the basic elements and functional energy, streams as per one's natural constitutions, are balanced and free from all defects and disorders, and whose mind and soul are in perfect harmony. So again, the term harmony comes in relation with health and in relation with yoga also. So the concept of holistic health is intellectual health, physical health, emotional health, social health, spiritual health, and occupational health. So there are 5 components of physical health. First one is cardiovascular fitness. Second is respiratory fitness. The third one is muscle strength. Fourth is body composition, and fifth is flexibility. If these five things are at the optimum level, so you are physically healthy. But only physical health is not the complete health, as we are discussing about the holistic health. So there are some criteria about mental health. If we just talk about mental health, we should have adequate contact with reality, control of thoughts and imagination, efficiency in work and play, social acceptance, positive self-respect, and a healthy emotional life. See, adequate control with reality. Nowadays we are, कहते हैं ना, हम लोग हवा में बातें करते हैं, young generation especially. They don't have adequate contact with the reality. They just imagine and jump on the imaginations, and sometimes they success also, but there are chances of failure. So if your mental health is at the optimum level, there will be a coordination between reality and the thoughts. There will be a control over the imagination, and that's why there will be the efficiency in work and play. And the fourth thing is social acceptance. Society accepts you and you accept the society, both together. Sometimes you see, you don't know who is your neighbor and what is going in your neighborhood. Because of our mentality, the social health is not at the optimal level. So there should be some positive self-respect and a healthy emotional life. There is a third component in our health, that is spirituality, spiritual health. Then प्रेम, दया, करुणा, क्षमा, सहिष्णुता, उदारता, सज्जनता, नैतिकता, पवित्रता, all are the component of spiritual health. So the yogic perspective is, life challenges are not supposed to provide us, they are supposed to help us, discover us. There is no any path without any obstacles. We feel discouraged due to obstacles in our way. But truth is, if we find a path with no obstacles, it probably does not lead us anywhere. So the yoga entity is व्याधिष्टान संशय प्रमादादस्य अविरति भ्रांति दर्शनालय भूमि कप्तानि वस्तुतत्वानि चित्त कराया. So vyadhi, the physical illness, sthyan, the lack of interest in enthusiasm, sanshay, doubt or indecision, pramad, carelessness or negligence, alasya, physical laziness, avirati, desire for sense objects, Bhranti darshan, living under illusion or wrong understanding. Alabdha bhumikatva, missing the point of inability to hold on the what is achieved. And anavasthitatva, inability to maintain the achieved program. So then, if we just conclude the things, holistic health is based on our 5 C's of the body, that is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. So yoga has direct approach on all five seats, especially physiologically, psychological, and spiritual. So the threefold process of self-upliftment. If we just try to understand what are the physiological effects of yoga, it relaxes the muscles, as I said in the part of physical health. So yoga relaxes the muscles, slows the breath, slows the heart rate, slows down the cardiovascular activities, regulates the bowel movement, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and improves the immunity. And if we just go through the psychological effect of yoga, the betterment of coordination between body and mind, harmony in work, happiness, contentment, and betterment in relationship. And if we go through the pranic effect or spiritual effects of yoga, it activates the psychic centers, the chakras. It regulates the pranic flow. It improves the vitality, awakens the third eye, the wisdom, and expands the wholeheartedness. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So there are scientific approach of yoga techniques. Yoga is an experiential science. The most important benefit of yoga is it balances our physical and mental coordination. And the aging process, which is largely an artificial condition, causes mainly by autooxidants or self-poisoning, can be slowed down by practicing yoga. So by keeping the body clean, flexible, and well lubricated, we can significantly reduce the catabolic process of cell deterioration. To get the maximum benefit of yoga, we need to combine the practice of yogasana, pranayama, and meditation. So the scientific approach of yoga is it regulates the body, and if we just practice regularly, the asana, pranayama, meditation can help such diverse ailments such as diabetes, blood pressure, digestive disorders, arthritis, arteriosclerosis, chronic fatigue, asthma, varicose vein, and heart conditions. So laboratory tests have proved the yogi's increased ability to consciously controlling automatic and involuntary functions. So researches into the effect of yogic practices, particularly in the area of chronic diseases like HIV, AIDS, and cancer, currently underway the promising results. The scientific approach of yoga is, according to medical scientists, yoga therapy is successful because of the balance created in the nervous and endocrinal system, which directly influences all the other systems and organs of the body. Yoga acts both as a curative and preventive therapy. The very essence of yoga lies in attain mental peace, improves concentration power, a relaxed state of living, and harmony in the relationship. So, mechanism of yogic healing is physiological, pranic, psychological, astral, and causal. So, altogether, we work over all the five seats of Annamay, Pranamay, Manomay, Vijnanmay, and Anandamay. So, yoga deals with all three aspects of life, that is, body, mind, and spirit. And in the term of yoga, it is five panchakosas. So, I think the approach of yoga is in the a number of studies, the scientific studies shows that yoga is among the most effective complementary therapy for several elements, and it's a right way to achieve the holistic health. But it is also suggested that one can start it very easily, but there should be a prominent yoga guru, a yoga guide, and or whoever yoga expert is there to practice under the guidance only. So altogether, holistic healing or holistic health, the approach of yoga is complete health and holistic health that regulates the body, mind, and soul. So I think with the time bounding, we should conclude that through the practice of yoga, we become aware of the interactiveness or interconnectedness between our emotional, mental, and physical level. Gradually, the awareness leads to an understanding of the more subtle areas of existence. So the uniqueness or the ultimate goal of yoga is to make it possible for the society to be able to fuse together the gross or the material, that is annamaya kosha, the mental or the pranamaya kosha and manomaya kosha, and intellectual, that is vijnanamaya kosha, and the spiritual, that is anandamaya kosha. So thank you everyone. Thank you the organizing team, and the also especially Dr. Rakesh Giri sir for chairing the session and giving us the time. Thank you one and all.
Dr. Kamakhya Kumar ji, you placed the subject in very serious matter and with the Shastric Pramanas. We are grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Namaskar.
Now I would like to invite our prominent speaker, Dr. Girish Jha sir, coach, mentor, guide, speaker, writer, and we are very fortunate to have you, sir.
Thank you. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from false to the real, lead us from ignorance to wisdom, and lead us from the mortality to the immortality. Thank you very much for inviting me. Dr. Rakesh Giri, Sarvesh Tripathi ji, and Dr. Anay Mani Tripathi. You have a beautiful chant. And Dr. Kamakhya Kumar, you have a wonderful presentation. And other dignitaries. Yes, I think, I will continue to expand a bit on what Dr. Kamakhya spoke. And I will reveal something that what I have learned from my Himalayan master, with whom I spent 26 years, Swami Lakshmandas Avadhutji. He always pointed out that these sutras of Patanjali should be learnt with reference to the Vyas Bhasya Vachaspati. And that gives a true picture of what exactly is the holistic living or holistic health. First thing, that when we say asato ma satgamaya, moving from the false to the reals, that very real is holistic. that very real is the whole. And that whole is present in all of us. That is what is explained by Patanjali in the 4th Sutra. Tada drishtu swarupe avasthanam. But before that we have a yogaschitta vritti nirodha, and the first sutra is ath yoga anushasanam. So when we study and understand Vyas, Bhasya and Bhasya by the Vachaspati Mishra, we find Atha means that I should become a qualified seeker. If I am not for any subject, we have a reorientation. We have an orientation program the moment you take admission in your graduation and post-graduation. So that very reorientation is that I am capable. So the Ath represents that I should become a qualified seeker first. I cannot drive a car without knowing the rules of the road, and I should not have the skill sets of the driving. The same thing applies to the yoga. So when we say the yoga is discipline, that is the first. Now come to the second. I will not spend too much of time. Another 10 minutes I will summarize this. So when we say yogaschitta vritti nirodha, my master used to say that better you understand, it is emptying the mind of its content results into the state of yoga. We are not controlling the mind. The control of the mind results into a suppression. It is a process of sublimation. But how to understand that? According to Vyasa, we say that mind lives in 5 subjective states. I am making it very simple. Mind lives in 5 subjective states, and mind lives in 5 objective states. So the objective states are very much defined clearly by the Patanjali in the first chapter. But what about the subjective states? The Vyasa says that the mind lives in the wandering state. Why the wandering is there? Because the mind is looking outside for peace and happiness. So when it is looking for peace and happiness outside where it is not, that creates a tension. That creates the duality and a conflict. So same thing with the wandering mind, same thing with the obsessed mind, which is known as the mudha. The third one is the vikshipta state. Now, unless I understand clearly the first 3 subjective states of the mind, that is chipt, mood and vikshipt, I cannot move to the ekagravastha. And that ekagravastha makes me a seeker to treat the path of the yoga according to the Vyasa, not according to me. I don't know anything. Then we can take over these 5 different types of modifications of the mind, or what we say the objective mental states. So Vyasa further says, my master used to say that unless we have that natural state, natural steadiness of the mind cannot go deeper inside, and that mind only can understand what is the journey of yoga. Now, why I'm relating the first 3 subjective states of the mind, including the praman, viparya, vikalpa, nidra and smriti, out of which let us leave this. The first 3 states, the chipt, mood and the vikshipta state, or you can say the wandering, obsessed mind and the crazy mind, that is constantly wandering outside in search of the peace and happiness. Then it returns to the mind itself inside. It causes the mental challenges. It may be emotional bondage. It may be a mental issues of pain and the pleasure. So unless this is understood properly, based on that, when we start the journey of the yoga, then it becomes a play and a fun for our life. It is because of these three subjective states of the mind, these panch kosha that Dr. Kamakhya Kumar was explaining, panch kosha. But let me briefly put it, the body is subjected to birth and death. So where is the problem that prevents me the holistic living? I already have a fear of birth, of the death. What about the prana, hunger and thirst? So that also causes lot of challenges. What about the mind, pain and the pleasure? Because the mind is constantly subjected to the pain and pleasure. What I like, if I get it, there is a pleasure. What I dislike, I get it, there is a pain. So unless I tackle these challenges by understanding, it is difficult to begin the real journey of the yoga. And then what about the intellect? We have very strong likes and dislikes. So you see that what are the challenges that is happening at all these levels? The strong likes and dislikes, pain and the pleasure, hunger and the thirst, and at the physical level, it is all about the fear, failure, and the frustration. So when we follow that what needs to be done at the physical level, what needs to be done at the level of the prana or the breathing, what is to be done at the level of the mind, what is need to be done at the level of the intellect. So when we bring these four levels in the harmony, in syncing with a reference to the real self, that is what is known as tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Now I am centered, as a seeker is centered in the real self. If I translate in that way. And what is the nature of the real self? The real self is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So what Dr. Kamakhya was saying when he says the transformation, that simply means I awaken to my real nature. And that real nature is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. It is of the nature of permanent happiness, just for an example. Another 2 or 3 minutes I'll take. So what does it mean by permanent happiness? We talk of Ananda, we talk of Satchidananda. So I usually ask my students here, do you want happiness in the morning, not in the afternoon? No, I want happiness also in the afternoon. What about in the evening? What about in the night? No, I want happiness all the time. That is the meaning of permanent happiness and Ananda. What about the peace? The same thing. When I want peace and happiness? Why you are asking? I want peace and happiness in all the locations, in my relationship, in all the situations. That is the nature of the real self. So once we realize, we awaken to that state of the real self, then what happens? Now my ego is not ruling these body, breath, mind, and intellect. Real self is taking over, and that brings a state of health, if we want to say. That is what the holism is. That is what the wholeness is. And that is what the asatoma asatgamaya, the first phrase, moving from the false to the real, speaks about. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much. That's all from me.
Raised Anand Shakti in our consciousness by talking about Satchidananda. In Sanskrit, it's called Bhairav Bhav. So you raised the Bhaigar Bhav to us. We are grateful to you. Your lecture increased our knowledge very much. Thank you, sir. Now it's time to special speech